Hello everybody, this is Trooper Joe. Here I am again on Wednesday from 3 to 4 on 7 Ave Radio. That's 7averadio.com. Just go to TuneIn Radio, find yourself 7 Ave Radio, and there I am. And ArchAngel A, Return to Chivalry. That's where you can actually see me, looking at you, looking at me, here on Wednesday from 3 to 4. Yeah, well, a little song that I like. I don't know if some of you people could hear it on the Facebook or not like that. It's If You're Going Through Hell, Just Keep On Going by the guy who sings it.
Rodney Atkins.
Rodney Atkins, that's right. He's the one who sings it. Yeah, I don't know the names of singers, but I like the song anyway. Today I'm going to be trying to talk about a subject that's kind of really complicated, so you have to bear with me a little bit. And the subject is people do what people do. Yeah, I know that's a mouthful of do's in there, but people do what people do. And I'm going to talk about what's the hellish and the heavenly results of that. Hellish is in the negative kind of ways that actually, I guess everybody would probably know that, you know. And you know, the negative kind of ways that we do what we do, and the heavenly ways is the good results that can come out of doing what you do. Okay? So there's a couple of things that first you're going to have to get a little bit of understanding about. And one is the ages. And when I'm talking about ages, I'm not talking about a chronological age. I'm talking about an era. You know, like an age, the medieval age, the antebellum age, that kind of thing, like that age. And today we live in a scientific age. You know, we're not an industrial nation anymore. We do have industry, though, don't get me wrong. We do have industry, we do have farming, and we do have things like that, but the major source of our income in this country really is scientific endeavors. We have a communication system set up that's all scientific. You're watching it right now. It's called Facebook Live. This didn't happen a few years back, just, you know. So that's where we live in the scientific age. And then the other one you have to keep an kind of a ear out for is culture. And cultures, when I'm talking about cultures, I'm talking about cultures, you know, they exist, you know. And many of the cultures today that exist really have a different kind of twofold, because I'm going to keep it more American, and I'm going to bring in the people who come to America today. The American people, if I say American, I'm talking about those people who consider themselves to be second, third generation Americans. And their culture is the culture that I'll talk about as American. And then the people who come into this country today, they're coming from other countries. They're coming in with the visas. I don't want to call them immigrants, you know, but I'm going to just... maybe I might call them immigrants, you never know, they might just be immigrants, but they're coming with their culture. Our culture here in the United States, in America, has already been established for us. Yeah? And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I'm going to show you a great video, nice video, and then a little video after that. Now, I want everybody to really kind of, if you can see it, I don't know, will it come up?
We can, if you just give me a minute, we can get the videos set up for Facebook Live.
All right, we're gonna take a minute to try to get that set up. So let me give you a little head start on what we're gonna be talking about here. What people do, what people do. Yeah, that's for later. That's on athletics, because I like athletics, and we're gonna be looking at kids a lot in this discussion that we're going to have about people do what people do, because the kids, the scientific age belongs to them. It really does, folks. Even though we control the outcomes of it right now by the way we educate our kids in the school systems, and opposed to the charter schools or homeschooling, or any other different way of educating our kids. The future belongs to the kids. The present, the scientific age, belongs to the kids. All us other people that are adults, we're gonna call it adults with a capital A, we're in the past. We're in the past. We're playing catch up to the kids now. This is really, it's amazing, because I don't think that really happened in other eras. The kids were more, they had wealth in the family structure, but today the kids, the wealth in the family structure is different than the wealth they had before. Kids used to have a place in the family. They did chores, they did other things, they went to the store for you. They don't do that anymore. Not in every family. There are some families where the kids still have that structure. You know, you live under my roof, you gotta obey by my rules, and these are my rules, take out the garbage and stuff. But the kids enjoy taking out the garbage. They like having that sense of feeling within their family structure. But they still live in the scientific age. When they go to school, you know, you expect them to come home knowing something about the age that they live in. And this is where the problem starts to arise when people do what people do. The teachers, I don't believe, giving them the ability to be an effective part of the scientific age. So the kids took it on their own to develop their own way of learning what it is that they need to know to exist in their own era and stuff. You know, and I think that some of that comes about today because of the last generation, Generation X. It's like, did you throw that whole generation away? You didn't even give it a name. You just called it an X. It's like, yeah, that's Generation X. They're just stupid. You know, and this is the generation that's supposedly supposed to be teaching these kids, who, again, I might have to say, live in a scientific age. All right. That's so. Do we have a video, or should I keep going?
Just go one more minute. We're almost ready to go.
All right, we're gonna give it away again. I got my glasses on. So when the kids go to school, they're learning basics, and this is how that works. At least this is how I believe that works. You learn from the generation that came before you. So the teachers are older, so they're teaching the younger kids. Those teachers were taught by an older generation too. So they're coming into their classrooms teaching what they were taught to a group of individuals, the kids, who don't live in the era that's conducive to what the generation before them and the one before that were used to. So the teachers are doing what the teacher does, you know, because that's what people do. They do what they do. So they'll teach the kids basics. They'll teach them math. They'll teach them how to count. They'll even teach them calculus. They'll teach them trigonometry. They'll teach them all these things like that can help the kids go into the scientific era, but they won't teach them they won't teach them what's in the scientific era, because a lot of the teachers really don't have an idea what's in there. Many do, some don't. They don't live in that era. They live in their own era. So their hearts are big, and they're teaching the kids the basics, but the basics can only take you so far. And the poor parents, I feel bad for the parents in a way, because after third grade, you're pretty much out of it. You know, those kids, I mean, didn't they have a TV program that said smarter than a fifth grader or something like that? But I think that it's gone a little bit further back now. You know, adults are smart as third graders. And that's not school smart, folks. That's more creative genius that these kids have, a communication system that they set up themselves. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute, but I think we're ready to show my little video.
Hello.
All right.
Hi, this is Trooper Joe, and I'm here with Muriel, the young 11-year-old entrepreneur who fashioned all these beautiful little dinosaur type of stuffed animals thing, a creation of her own mind. People got to understand, this young lady is just 11 years old, and she's already out there making her way in the world. Muriel, what caused you to do this type of venture?
Well, I really like sewing, and so I started sewing for my friends, and well, this is the type of thing I sewed, and that looks a lot worse than like this, so that was sewn a while back. But I started sewing because I really like to sew, and so I wanted to sew things for my friends, and so that's why I started to sew this type of thing.
Hey, that's cool. I like him. That was just a little clip of an 11-year-old girl that I had the pleasure of meeting and interviewing. Her name is Muriel Campbell, and she's an entrepreneur at 11 years old. She didn't learn that in school, folks. She didn't learn, none of you. She did not look, but she's homeschooled anyways, but even if she wasn't homeschooled, they don't teach that in school. They don't encourage that in school. They teach basics in school, because like I said, the teachers are taught by the teachers that came before them. So there's 2 generations removed from that. So she just wanted to do something for a friend, and she took on an entrepreneurial type of job like that. She actually is bigger than what it is. You can see the whole video if you want to, just by going to ArchAngel A, Return to Chivalry, and click on Muriel, I think it is.
Yep.
And you could see the whole video. She's actually going to have some at a fundraiser for a cancer symposium or something that they're doing.
Also, Trooper, I just wanted to say quickly, if you are a friend of Trooper Joe on Facebook, Joe Glover, you just go to his page, his ArchAngel Chivalry page, and you will find every single episode of ArchAngel A, Return to Chivalry replayed on that channel. His interview with Muriel is there, his interview with other great people, everybody from senators to boxers to you name it, he's interviewed them, and they're all on his page, facebook.com/ArchAngel Chivalry.
Yeah. Thanks, Will. That's Will of the 5 o'clock shadow.
We have the other video whenever you're ready.
Yeah, a little while we're going to show you another video. Okay. You're going to love this one. It's a great video. But it's another video. It's a little longer than that. But, but again, with the kids and the science and the era that they live in. And she's not alone as kids. This is what kids do. Adults don't even know that the kids do this, some of them, but this is what they do. They're creative thinkers nowadays. And that's because of the scientific advancements. It's made them creative thinkers. And one of the reasons that they became creative thinkers is because of the communications that they're able to do. When I was a kid, and when many of you were kids and stuff, your communications were limited to a block. You communicated with the friend who lived next door to you, or around the corner, or in your school, or in your church. That's how you communicated. Today, these kids get on Facebook and they're communicating with people in other countries. And they're looking at them, and they're looking at right back at them on that, what is it, live chat time or something like that?
Snapchat, FaceTime.
Yes, Snapchat, Face. How cool is that? And then some of the kids are just looking and having fun, talking to a kid who lives in England or lives in France and stuff, and having fun with the accents and asking them, well, what do you eat? Or something like that, But they're learning. They're actually learning as they're talking to these kids in foreign countries. Because it's a whole lot different than talking to little Johnny who lived next door to you. Hey, what's up, Johnny? I don't know. How you doing? I'm good. Yeah. You take that and then people do what people do. You can become 50 years old and see Johnny. Hey, what's up, Johnny? How you doing? I'm good. How you doing? I'm good. You learn how to say that, These kids are talking to people in England, France, Germany, Russia, Africa, all over the planet. Anybody who's got an iPad or a telephone or something like that, they're communicating with them. So they're learning about their cultures. They're learning about, hey, what do they do in your city? What do they do in your school? What do they do this and that and everything? So they're actually learning and they're communicating way beyond the adult population. Because adults are still stuck in, hi, how you doing? Good. You? Gonna rain today. No, might do that tomorrow. Well, anyway, we need it. You know, so that's be the extent of that communication. But that, put these things on, because when you get older, you need to wear them. But then again, sadly, this is the sad part about this, though. Not all kids have the advantages in the scientific age. You know, some kids really don't have that advantage. Some kids, they live in a house where they don't have the technologies to share, so the kids get their own little kind of thing to be on Facebook and stuff. So and then some kids are heavily monitored by their parents on what they can do, and their parents might, be having an overly abundant fear about, well, you can't talk to people in Africa. Why not? Because they're African. Or you can't talk to people in France. Well, why not? Because they're French. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons why some kids are disadvantaged in that. Some kids, they go, and then the parent might believe that they're going to get all the education that they need to survive and need to flourish in this world from school. That's not true, folks. That's definitely not true. They're just doing away with jobs every time you turn around, and people just aren't even paying attention to that. Kids are, because they didn't know whether those jobs really are for them or not. Like, soon, I don't believe there'll be many McDonald's jobs left. That'll be replaced with the swipe your credit card, and they'll have the automatic machine that throws your hamburger at you, and all you gotta do is catch it. That'll come, so they won't have that job. And they already got these self-driving cars. They're still trying to make it novel. They're just an experiment when they got them all over the place now. They got 2 or 3 different self-driving companies out here. And they're becoming sophisticated, and once that happens, and then they become normalized, and once they become normalized, there's a lot of jobs that'll be lost. And in those jobs that are lost, these kids won't care, because it's like, well, I didn't know anything about a taxi driver anyway. I didn't know anything about a truck driver. I seen a truck driver. I didn't know about that. They would know about the mechanics of building and designing a robotic car, because that's what they all learn in the scientific age, but not from the teacher. They'll learn this on their own, because their creative skills are just that tuned in. And I think that's great and wonderful that the kids really are taking advantage of their own genius, They're not relying on the adults to give them directions and just say, okay, you're going to grow up and be like me. I mean, that's fine if your kid says, I want to grow up and be like my dad, or I want to grow up and be like my mom, or I want to grow up and be like this, but it's like adults, come on. You want your kid really to grow up and say, hi, how are you? Fine. How are you? Good. It's going to rain. If you really want them to grow up and be able to do that, that's fine. That's your choice. But I think they might get a little unhappy and bored with that later. But like I said, people do what people do. And if you were taught to emulate the behaviors and the ways of your parents, you're going to do what you do, and you're going to try to pass on that to your kids. And some of the passing on you do isn't all that positive, folks. It's really not all that positive. We're going to talk a little bit about that with the cultural thing in a minute. But right now, I'm going to show you another video, because we like videos. I'm going to show you another video, see if that comes up. Right? And then we're going to go into culture, because I want to talk a little bit about culture. So I hope everybody liked Muriel, and I hope everybody can identify the guy in the middle. Very handsome guy, if I might add. in a suit, singing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's right, folks. That was done behind it with a green screen and stuff like that. But it was fun, and that's what I do. You know, I have no shame, so I do what I do. You know, I can do anything I want to do. I can laugh at myself. It makes no difference to me. I'm going to have that fun because I do that, and people do what people do, you know, so that's that. So if anybody like that, you can call in if you want to, and I can talk to you. It's at 508-963-1150.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the number, 508-963-1150. You can talk about anything you want to, put you live on the air and stuff, or you can tweet or Twitter, what do you call it?
No, Facebook, you can comment on Facebook if they're on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
You now.
Yeah, lots of things you can do. I don't know anything about that science stuff, but I do know how to sing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. So I got a little bit of stuff that I can do. So now we're going to talk about culture a little bit. Alright? So in this country, like I said earlier, we have dozens of cultures. You know? Dozens of them. We got whole bunches of cultures from all across the world. And we got the American culture. And the American culture in this world is from my perspective, is probably the saddest culture because it's a culture that deals with money. Most of the culture in the United States has to be is around money. You know? That's what it's about, you know. We're a capitalist nation. We need to have money. We need to have money to make us important. We need to have money to make us happy. We need to have money to do a whole lot of things. But in actuality, we really don't need to have money because after we buy all those material things that we didn't want in the first place, like a lot of them little rubber ducks. You ever see them little yellow rubber ducks? I'm sure they're in every home throughout the United States.
Troop, just to quickly chime in, I remember on Sesame Street, the guy used to have his song, Rubber Ducky, you're the one.
Yeah.
You make bath time lots of fun. I used to love Rubber Duckies then.
I hear you. Yeah, that's American culture. Mm-hmm. An American icon, the little yellow rubber duck. Yeah, it became big, folks. They stop traffic every year in Boston to let some ducks cross the street to get over to the water or something. They have a big police presence and all these things so that these ducks can cross the road. And then you can buy little rubber ducks. I mean, this is part of our culture, but there's another part of our culture too that really doesn't. This is, you know, we have a lot of duality in our culture. We have black and white. Our culture is made up of blacks and made up of whites, and then we have rich and poor. Our country is made out of 1%ers and then everybody else, and then we have religions. Lots of religions in our country. We got Catholics, we got Protestants, we got Baptists, we got Methodists. They usually stay close together. I don't know how that happened, but if you're ever looking for a Methodist church, find the Baptist church, it's across the street. I don't know who put that design together, but that's how it works. And they got you Vanitarians or you Talitarians or something like that. They got Mormons. We got all kinds of religions. We got plenty of religions to go around, so, you know, God should be the #1 focus in this country, but He's not on my list. The religions are, but in this country we seem to forget the major character. You know, God's not really on there, you know. It's like, where'd He go? And then we got ancestral type of things in our country. Everybody likes to talk about their ancestral makeup. Yeah, well, I have Indian and African American in me. Oh, that's good. Well, I have Irish and French Canadian in me. Oh, that's good. I have Scottish and Swedish in me. Oh, that's good. And it's like, okay, but you don't know anything about your culture. Or maybe you do. I don't know much, and I was raised an Indian, and I still don't know much except the harvest dance and the planting dance in the spring. That's about all I know. You put these on, you do your dance and stuff. I don't talk the language. I don't talk to trees. I don't run in the morning to go down and hunt and stuff. I don't know the habits of animals so that I can sustain my life or any of these things. I don't know how to tan a hide or any of that stuff like that. And I'm sure that if you come from an Irish descent, I'm sure there's many more than many people out there, and they don't have a dance. Can they do the what's the little kicking dance where they tap the feet very hard? The Irish skip dance or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah. And then the people from Russian and the Eastern European type of nations, I'm sure they can't get down and do that dance where they have their hands up here and they're kicking those legs out. That's some pretty intense stuff. But all these cultures and everything, they're very powerful, and people should take great pride in their ancestry, but not in this country. We find the worst thing to say about the other person's nationality, and then we say that. You know? You would think that everybody in this country who's white came from the same little place where white people come from. I don't know where that is, but all of them came from the same spot. You know, and then the same thing with the whites looking at the blacks. All of them came from the same place. Well, they came from Georgia. Did they? Georgia. Yeah, that's where all the blacks came from, Georgia. You know, maybe one or two came from Mississippi. You know, it's like that's the way we look at the culture in this world like this. You know, which is bad. And then all the rich people, they all work on Wall Street. Everybody knows that there's no other rich people in this country except the people who are on Wall Street, because that's the way we see rich people. And all the poor people in this country, they're all minorities, and they all live in the Northeast. Because, you know, when you go further where it's warm, then, you know, now you're not poor because it's warm, so you can do more pleasurable things. But in the Northeast, it's cold, so you got to be poor, because why would somebody want to live up here in the cold unless they have to, you know? So all the poor people live in the Northeast, so that's how they do. That's how I think they do. Remember, this is just my thing like that. And like I said, the religion, you got a whole bunch of them. Got bunches and bunches of them, and they meet on Sunday, except for those who meet on Saturday, and they talk about God, except for those who talk about themselves or something else. I don't know what it is. So this is the culture of America, you know. That's the American culture, a capitalistic culture. They know about money, you know. They don't know how to get it. They don't know what to do with it once they get it, except, like I said, buy a little yellow rubber duck. But everybody needs to have one of those. But, you know, this is our culture. We're a capitalistic culture. We won't put fences up so that the people from other countries can't come in and take our jobs, because our jobs need money. But what job are you talking about? You know, are you talking about a job where you actually had to learn something so that you're able to do something with yourself? No. No. You're talking about a job of picking the fruit in Southern California or something of that nature, or being a gardener in Texas or something. You know, you're not talking about a job on Wall Street where all the rich people are. In New York, you know, we got a president that's going to move all the cabinet members in the White House and everybody else to New York, you know, because that's where he's rich. So he can't go to Washington, D.C. He got to stay in New York to be close to where the money is. And this is perfectly normal for a lot of people to think that this is normal behavior, because that's what people like to think about. So let's move on a little bit here. Yeah, but it wasn't always like that, you know. This is just more to do with a modern age, you know, and it wasn't like that. People actually got together and were very proud, but then of their heritage and stuff. But they were closer in connection to their heritage. they knew their grandparents who came from another land, another country or something like that in the United States, and when they had a culture that the grandparent brought with them. And then the people, they did just like the children are doing today. They started to develop their own culture. They started to develop their own way. And you're the fruits of that, because you're the generations that are still here right now. You know the older ones, they know what their grandparents were like. They know what it was like to be an Italian from Italy. But the people now, a lot of them don't know how to really cook any lasagna. They cook lasagna the same way all the Irish people cook lasagna. It's like, yeah, they forgot how to cook that. And corned beef and cabbage, hey, every Polish person in this country knows how to cook corned beef and cabbage. It's a very nice Irish meal. So they know how to cook that on St. Patrick's Day. Why? Because everything started to mingle together. Everybody started to become one under the caption of capitalism. They all became one under the money. And then you start to have your pleasures and your life. They said, I like this lasagna. This is good. So now, yeah. But, it's a little tart, so I'm going to add some sugar to it. So now the recipe starts to change. So they did, well, I don't really like this tomato sauce. I like my other tomato sauce over here, so I'm going to use this and this tomato paste. So after they started doing all these kind of adjustments to the actual recipe that they really liked in the first place, it's your own. So now it became part of tradition for your little Russian family to have have lasagna. This is good. And they haven't mastered, what is it, bouillabaisse yet? So, those Middle Europeans, they're pretty safe. They ain't got the bouillabaisse yet. Cause we got Turtle right over there. So yeah, that's right, folks. Turtle is in bouillabaisse. That's right. For all you people that are not North American Indians and African Americans knowing about bouillabaisse, so you can get the recipe and it can be yours too. So that's what we do. We mingled all together and we brought all this stuff together like that, and everybody was pretty much happy. Everybody was eating good. The pleasures were there. Started making all kinds of good beer. Samuel Adams probably got like 500 different flavors of beer. Beer used to be hot. You used to drink warm beer. One cold, it was warm. That's how you drank the beer and stuff. Because we didn't have refrigeration. But now we got refrigeration. We can have cold beer. And now that it's cold, it tastes better. And all tastes the same to me, folks. I really don't drink, so it tastes like beer. So that's pretty much what we do. So yeah, but this is what's happening right now. But like I said, the title of this is People Do What People Do. So that's why people do what people do, because they have to have pleasure, they have to have closeness, and they have to have status, and they have to have it all the time. So if you're making lasagna, you're making the best lasagna. If you're Irish, now you're making good gravy to put on your spaghetti. You're not making sauce, because that's for the Italians. So if you're Irish, you're making gravy. If you're black, you get, I'm having spaghetti. Or I'm having noodles, or I'm having macaroni. It's all good. Is it, what kind of spaghetti? I don't know. We just call it macaroni. That'll work. And put cheese on it. We like cheese. What kind of cheese? I don't know. Well, that's a good color. That's a good color to go on top of this macaroni. So let's put that on there and we'll bake it in the oven and turn it brown. So everything's good now. See, and that's pleasurable to people. They enjoy that. They barbecue, cookouts, all these things like that. People enjoy that. They enjoy getting together and having a good old-fashioned talk about the weather and having barbecue hamburgers and hot dogs and throw steak all over the grill and everything, and then it's all charcoaled up and nice and smoky, and then they eat it and drink beer with it. Nice cold beer, and talk about how good their food is. And the guys, doesn't matter whether you're a black guy, a white guy, a tall guy, a short guy, it makes absolutely no difference. Those guys are going to put on that apron, grab that spatula and that little fork. They're going to go out there behind that grill, and they're going to call for their wife, who has parboiled and pre-cooked everything in the house, to bring that food out and throw it on the grill and take all the credit, because that's what guys do. You know, and they're all going to do it. It's like, it doesn't matter what your nationality, creed, religion, or anything. This is what they're going to do. And the women, they'll do just what, they'll bring it out there, they'll stand back and they'll shake their head from left to right, just be chuckling under their breath at they're mad, and it's all this is done in the name of love, folks. This is all done in the name of love. You got to feed that ego of the guy, you know. He got the $5,000 grill out there. He don't even know, he knows how to turn it on, but he doesn't know how to cook, so the wife has to make everything look good for her. So, so that's a kind of good thing. Now, I just been rambling right on here for a little while, so yeah, here's the book.
Is it that book? True? Is it that book?
It is.
One of the best books ever. Next to the Bible.
That's it. This is the book right here, but I lost my place. How did I do that? I haven't actually.
I think you lost it when you were looking for the phone number, and while you're looking for it, let me remind everybody again, if you would like to call in to ArchAngel A Return to Chivalry at any time, the number is 508-963-1150. Again, that is 508-963-1150. Trooper Joe would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or any comments or concerns, you can call in 508-963-1150 to ArchAngel A Return to Chivalry.
I found one. I don't know how good this is going to be, folks, but you know, this is in the book. This is the book right here, folks. You can get this book. It's Aesop's Fable. That's right. This is the book. This book is the book of knowledge. There's lots of knowledge in here. Anything you want to know about anything that's frivolous and kind of, you know, or serious and very intellectual, it's all in the book right here. But it doesn't replace the Bible. But it's in the book.
Yeah.
It's in the book. Today we're going to talk about the man and the satire. The satire, or however you say that. See the picture? That'll explain who he is. See? That's them right there. Alright? A man and a stayer, you can call in and tell me because I got an accent, became friends and determined to live together. All went well for a while, until one day in wintertime, the stayer saw the man blowing on his hands. "Why do you do that?" he asked. "To warm my hands," said the man. The same day when they sat down to supper together, they each had a steaming hot bowl of porridge, and the man raised his bowl to his mouth and blew on it. "Why do you do that?" said the stayer. "To cool my porridge," said the man. The stayer got up from the table. "Goodbye," said he, "I'm going. I can't be a friend with a man who blows hot and cold with the same breath." Yeah, I know that takes a little thought to think about, but that's exactly what I was talking about with the culture. You see, the sire he's the new guy on the block. He got his own way of doing things because he's more connected with his culture. The man had his way of doing things, and he's connected with his culture, but the sire couldn't understand his culture. You know, it's like, well, you blow on your hands to warm them, and then you blow on your food to cool it. that's a contradiction to this guy who's the sire, who doesn't really have any hands in the first place, because he's more goat than he is anything else. So that's what we do now. Like I said, we'll take the ingredients from one person's home recipe that's been used for thousands and thousands of years and add some sugar to it or put some salt on it and change the whole design of this recipe and make it ours. And that's a classic form of capitalism. We do that to everything. We'll take an engine and we'll add little baffles in the muffler so it's quieter, and then we'll make it ours. We got the quietest engine there. No, you got the same engine, you just added some baffles to it, so now you got a quiet muffler system. But that's what we do, because we're a capitalist country. So that's why I wanted to read a little bit about that. So folks, don't worry about whether you see somebody doing something different and you can't understand why it is that they're doing these type of things. That's quite all right, because eventually you'll get an idea of what's it about, and then you'll add a little sugar or salt to it, and you'll change it around and make it yours. Now I'm going to change subject just a little bit, but it's not that far, because I really wanted to talk about this too, what people do. This is a positive type of thing. I was watching this documentary on athletes, and a portion of this documentary came in there about blind athletes, and the Paralympics, and I really never paid much attention to blind athletes. I was just like everybody else. No, athletes are supposed to be big and strong and super fast and very intense and everything. And I didn't understand that, I didn't pay any attention, because I'm from that era that, to be an athlete, you got to put in the hours, right? You got to do the work and put the hours in. You got to have total focus on what you're going to do. You got to visualize what it is that you're going to do. I never really thought about a blind runner. I knew that there was people that tethered themselves together and they do kind of little pseudo jogging type of things and stuff. But I never knew that there were athletes that are getting the same training as the athletes with sight. They go to the same camps, hooked up to the same machines that measure the twitching, fast muscle twitch within their legs, and they get put into positions to utilize the best start for their event. They can't see the person next to them who they're running against, but they know they're there. They can visualize winning and beating somebody, and they're learning how to run just as fast as the person with the sight. They're learning, but they're learning not how to count steps, but how to feel steps, and they're learning how not to wave when they're running. Because, they really can't see the straight line, so they're going to be pulling towards whichever side is dominant. But they train much harder than the athletes that can see, because they have to train to overcome this difficulty too. All this is happening right now as we're speaking in places like Colorado Springs and the Olympic Center and stuff, and all of it's being done by science. They no longer just be tethered up to somebody holding hands and running down the road and stuff like that. No, they're down in the start position, waiting on the gun, feeling which, in the position to best utilize their muscles for what they need to do. And they're coming out there, and their speed, it may just be a second below the guy who sees, or not. Most people can't run with these people. They're way too fast, way too disciplined. And you know what the thing that really that amazed me the most? they no more wanted to get into that ice water after their training session than I do. Yeah, they had all the same feelings, all the same aspirations, all the same dreams of winning the race, getting the medal, having the status, having all that fun of doing all these things. And then after their years of being a professional athlete are over, they want to go train other athletes, blind or those that can see. And these are blind people, folks. You must understand, these people, these Paralympic people were blind. But that don't stop them from doing what they do. They're athletes. They're people who run races. And that's not amazing. It's just people do what people do. They were born an athlete. I really always believe that you're born into this world. You just weren't dropped here from outer space or God said, here, let me take a handful of people over here and just sprinkle them all over Europe. And let me take a left hand and sprinkle them all over the Americas. Now, you were put down on this earth for some reason, whatever that reason might be. I have no idea. Most people never get to fulfill the reason. They're put down here because they simply don't have the focus and they don't have the capacity to do the hard work. But in this, I don't even know the name of the video I was watching. It just was. I know it was Michael Jordan, the 200 runner and the 400 runner gold medalist back there in the day, and he was doing the narrating on this program. But those people that were put down here, these blind athletes, and it's not one or two or three or four, there's a bunch of these blind athletes competing to run in the Paralympics and other races throughout the country. And not just against blind athletes, but against all types of athletes. They're running and they're training and they're doing this stuff. They were put down here to do what they do, run, you know. And so that's a little bit about what people do. As a person, don't lose the focus on what you know that you're supposed to do. Right? Everybody knows what really makes them move, what makes them get out of bed. Everybody knows what that is. Most people say, I can't do that, it's too hard, I can't do it, it's going to hurt. Of course it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt and it's really going to be painful at times. You ever jumped in a bucket of cold ice water? Don't do it. It hurts. You go like this. till your body loosens up. So I suggest not to. But things are going to hurt. You ever had I know a lot of you have experienced finals exam week. We got that right now in all the schools right now. You know, you've had that experience. Oh, I got to study for the exam. I got to do this for the exam. No, you didn't have to focus to do the work throughout the course. So now you're trying to put 15 weeks of training and education into one simple test or one simple paper. So, you know, then you finally say, I can do this, and then you get it done. You have to look at your notes and stuff. But see, that's where the focus comes in. Because if you lost your focus while you were in that training to learn something, you won't go back. And that's when, you know, we start to do what we do. We greet people and say, hi, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? Good, it's going to rain. We need it. You know, we get to learn that quite a lot. We get to use it every chance we get, you know, so there's nothing else more comical to me anyways than to greet people who say that. Yeah, you could even mimic their little mouths. You can mirror their mouths and stuff like that. And then we raise our kids, you know, but we raise our kids, like I said, in the same way. Hi, how are you? Fine, how are you? It's going to rain. We need it. And our kids learn how to say that when they grow up. And but not the kids today. There's a group of many millions of kids out there who finally said, you know, adults, you don't know how to use Facebook. I've been monitoring your Facebook. I've been seeing the stuff that you've been putting on Facebook. You know, it's garbage. There's nothing to it. It's funny. I like watching dogs with big eyes bite people in the leg. You know, it's like, oh, that's funny. You know, or some craziness. Or I like just talking about a whole lot of different civil rights and humanistic issues, but not knowing anything about it. And then they say, yeah, so, you know, Mom and Dad, Auntie and Uncle and Gramps and Grandma, I ain't looking at your Facebooks anymore. They're too boring. I'm going to go talk to my friend who lives in Italy. And I'm going to get the real recipe for that lasagna because you make it too sweet. You know, so I'm going to go get this real recipe because I can. And then I'll give it to you if you want it. You know, but this is what the kids are doing now. They're creating their own generation of thinkers, their own generation of interacting with people, and they're not limited like we were to the neighborhood that you live in and that you grew up with. You know, the whole world is open to them. All the scientific stuff, they can ask. They go right on there and they'll ask the question just like you do, except they'll be asking the question, what does E equal MC squared really mean? You know? Or their news is coming in the fashion of Mars, or their news is coming in the fashion of oceanography, things of that nature. And that's great. But the adults, you either gotta have to keep up or get out. You're in the way for some of these kids. You're actually, I believe, stifling their life. You know, but don't get mad at them for being smart, and don't try to make them little Cabbage Patch dolls either. You know, don't try to take what they're learning and try to show it off for your own benefit, because that's really, you're going to bore the kids. You know, they're already pretty bored with monitoring your Facebook, so it's like, you know, don't do that. Well, I got to get ready to go. I hope you had a little bit of entertainment. I wanted to try people do what people do, because that's a very hard one to do without being critical on somebody else's turf, you know. So I was trying to keep it nice and civil and everything. And remember, those are all out of my head, so don't worry about it. If you don't agree, that's all right. I don't care. I sing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. I have fun to do anything that I do. It's like, that's what life is to me. You know, I just enjoy I enjoy life. And guess what, folks? It's the same living situations that you can have. Mm-hmm. You know, you can have the same amount of fun that I have out there. The only thing you got to do is you got to stay focused, and you got to be ready for hard work. And sometimes it hurt, and many times you fail. I failed coming out the first time I did the Grand Canyon, going across the Grand Canyon. I ended up in the hospital. My honey was mad at me. That's all right, she does that a lot. But she still loved me and stuff. But this is the whole thing. You're not just limited to, hi, how are you? Fine, how are you? How I have a good day. Looks like rain. We need it. You're not limited to that. You can do a whole lot more than that and interact with your kids. But don't get upset if your kids smile at you, because they're at an age of their own and they're making their age something, and I'm really excited for them. There's a whole bunch of people like little Muriel out there that's entrepreneurs. There's scientists out there. They're all like 11, 12, 13 years old and growing. You know, it's going to be entertaining, it's going to be fun and profitable for everybody out there. Alright, I'm Trooper Joe, and I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in. I didn't even need to get to my music, but that's okay.
Play some now.
I'm going to play a little rhythm for you and everything. Y'all have a great week, and y'all have that fun. Alright, now I'm